Good morning to everyone. And we are live. Good morning to you, Sister Nadine. And welcome to my live. What's up to you, Sister Rosa? So yeah, this is what's happening presently right now with my Facebook account. As you're seeing on the screen there. Hey, what's up to you, Commander Naomi? Hey, what's up to you, Sister Aki? Hey, what's up to you, Sister Wati? So Facebook is putting my account on spam. Alright? So everything that I'm teaching you all, they're putting it on spam so that people do not see it. So the live will be for 2 hours from now on. Hey, what's up to you, Brother Michael Spahn? I will no longer sit down for hours again. Just doing a live. Live will go for 2 hours and that's it. So let's talk about people hating on me. Why they hate me in the first place? Because I love righteousness and I hate unrighteous people. All right, I don't hate people. All right, I hate the unrighteousness that they do against Elohim. So as you can see what's going on right now. Okay, so today's teaching is going to be a little different than yesterday's, as usual. So I'm the only one that started teaching about Yellowstone since 2011. Since 2011 till 2018, I'm the only one that truly teaching people the real truth about Planet X, Nibiru, Wronged Out Star, Nemesis system, and all them lies that NASA made up to fool people so that they do not know that the great creator Elohim, the creator Elohim, is here. Not the Elohim. Elohim, the Almighty, the holies of holies, they are here. So let's make a very clear distinction between the Elohim, the so-called Elohim, and Elohim, who is the universal, triune, eternal family. Let's make a big distinction, because there are people on YouTube calling and saying the Elohim and people saying Elohim. So just make it very clear that the Elohim have nothing to do with righteousness. The Elohim have nothing to do with holiness. The Elohim have nothing whatsoever to do with what's happening in the end time right now. All right, so the Elohim are imposters. All right, Elohim, who is the triune eternal family, they have everything to do with what's happening in this end time right now. So the Elohim is imposters. All right, so don't follow the Elohim crew. All right, because they will lead you straight into the lake of fire. So the day, burning like an oven, it is coming, it is here. Look what's happening in Hawaii right now. The lake of fire is being prepared, and that's where the lake of fire will be, in Hawaii, and one will be in Ecuador, and one will be in the Philippines for Indonesia, and one will be for Guatemala and these other places. So yeah, also mud volcanoes will begin to erupt as well. So we're going to see an unleash of Elohim's wave. All right, so about 2 days ago we felt a wave. All right, and that was a 5.3 earthquake that actually hit Trinidad. All right, so I want to explain something about the earthquakes that is happening right now. There's a guy called Dutchies or Dutchinese. Don't follow that guy. All right, Don't follow these YouTube people who telling you that the earthquakes have everything to do with fracking. Fracking have nothing whatsoever to do with what's happening presently. All right, fracking is outside into the sea, whether there's actually drilled for oil and stuff like that, or some places on the land where there's drilled for oil. To be honest with you all, fracking never had nothing to do with earthquakes. So let us just stop following these people. Stop following the lies on YouTube, on social media about fracking. All right, fracking have nothing whatsoever to do with what's happening in Hawaii, what's happening in Guatemala, what's happening in Venezuela, what's happening in Brazil and Mexico, and what's happening in Kenya and all these other places that has begun to split. So let us make it very clear that fracking have nothing whatsoever to do with the volcano. The volcano, as a matter of fact, that is exploding worldwide. All right, so fracking have nothing whatsoever to do with the earthquakes that is happening now. All right. So people lying just to bring people in. They will join them in the lake of fire. So that's why I'm single out. That's why nobody doesn't really be interested in watching the live. Hence the reason why there are other people who conspiring against me in unrighteousness. Because I teach people in love, of course love, but they don't want that love. All right, they don't want that love. So they will join the others like themselves in the lake of fire in Hawaii. So here what I tell them. Tell them from now on, pack their bag. Understand? They don't need no emergency bag. All right, all they need is their spiritual bag. Yes, they get a bags pack, because they're going to be thrown into the lake of fire. So that's what's going to happen here on earth. So the lake of fire is happening right now, and Yahushua is actually building the lake of fire. As you can see what's happening in Hawaii presently. Hawaii will be one of the most places where about 1 million souls, or more than 1 million, will be thrown into that lake. All right, so what's happening in Hawaii will never end. It will never end. All right, so this will be an ongoing process, because now we are actually in the end. This is the place on this life is where you will learn the real foundation of what Elohim desires, or what is their will for this final hour. Alright, so we're going to dive into the teaching in a sec. We're going to dive into it. So just stay tuned. Alright.
In the book of Romans, Paul writes about how it is the goodness of Yahuwah that draws us to repentance. And I just want to testify today that it was his goodness that brought me out of darkness and brought me into the marvelous light of his son, his wonderful son, YAHUSHUA HaMashiach. I'm so thankful today. I'm thankful that as I walk this walk of trust and belief and confidence in him, that he never fails to bless me. He never fails to open doors of opportunity for me. And even though sometimes I feel like I really don't deserve all that he's doing for me, but it's his goodness that just goes beyond my understanding. It goes beyond my comprehension. When I look at my life, I can see all of the places where I did the best I could do. But then when I look a little harder, I can see where he stepped in and did the things that needed to be done. That's how good he's been to me. And today I testify of his goodness to me. Father, you have been good, and I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful to you. You've been good. Oh, yes, you've been good. Father, you've been good. You have supplied all of my needs. Yes, you have. You've been good. You've been so very good. So much better than I thought you would be. When I pause to count my blessings, Father, I can see. Yes, I can. You've been good. Every day of my life. You've been better than I've been to myself. Yes, I have. You've been good. So very good. So good to me. Yes, you've been good. I want you to know that I love you, Father. You've been good. So very good to me. Oh, I lift up your name. I worship you, Yahuwah. Blessing and honor, esteem and power belong to you. You've been good.
Exodus chapter 3, verse 12. And Yahuwah said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship me on this mountain.
Morning, noon, and night, I will worship you. The purpose for my life is to worship you. I will worship you. In spirit and in truth, I will worship you. When all is said and done, I'll still worship you. Before your judgment throne, I will worship you. I will worship you. Forever. In spirit and in truth, I will worship you.
Revelation 12, verse 16. And the 24 elders who were seated on their thrones before Yahuwah fell on their faces and worshiped him, saying, we give you thanks, Yahuwah Elohim, the one who is and who was, because you have taken your great power and have begun to reign. I will worship you, Yahuwah Elohim. I will worship you, Yahuwah, my Elohim. I will worship you, Yahuwah, my Elohim. I will worship you, Yahuwah. I will give you praise, Yahuwah Elohim. I will give.
So this life is the place that you need to be right now. Forget about Gil and Dutchies, all these other false people who want your money. Forget about them. Come to the main source. You want the real truth? Come to listen to my life and make sure and share it, because I don't think we have much time here anymore. We, meaning that us who are in Elohim's righteousness, we don't have much time here anymore. All right, we maybe have about less than 2 weeks remaining here right now. All right, so remember, Elohim could change things however they want, but I'm going to teach you all something again today, which I didn't get to teach you all yesterday. So please stay tuned, and please remember to share this live, give Elohim the credit, the glory, and share this love. Because sitting down here for 4 hours on Facebook saying that my prophecies and teachings is spam is complete bullshit. All right, I know people in Facebook doing that, and people on Facebook as well who could be a friend actually reporting my post. And I tell you, it's a battle right now. It's a battle because them want to be important. They are not important. Elohim is important in this hour. And your soul is important in this hour. Because if you don't get into the ark, you will suffer the wrath of Elohim 100-fold.
I will praise your name, Yahuwah, Elohim. I will bow my knee to you, mighty one. I will bow my knee. Yes, I will. To you, mighty one. I will lift my voice. Yes, I will. Every day I'll lift my voice to you. I will lift my voice to you. Almost high. I will exalt your name. Yes, I will. Yahuwah. I will.
That's some people going as far to say there's no ark to go into. Listen, don't listen to these people. Them people already, those people who saying there's no ark, they already condemned for the lake of fire. Alright? You get yourself in the ark now. Because if you listen to these people who talking about fracking, Planet X, Brown Dwarf Star, Nibiru, and all these things, you will be left behind to face Yahuwah's wrath, which will be 100-fold. You want that? You want to be left behind? You choose to be left behind to listen to the so-called people who brainwashing you. You choose to be left behind. Well, if that is your thinking, or if that is what you desire, so be it. But my work here is coming to an end. Alright? That's why the live is being cut down to 2 hours now. Not 4 hours anymore. Done with that. Alright? Go and buy your oil somewhere else. If you want 4 hours, go and buy your oil. Alright? But again, 2 hours of oil every day from now on from me. Until it will break down to 1 hour oil. And it could break down to half an hour oil as well. Got too much ungrateful people on the earth right now. Alright? I am teaching you and I am feeding you the real truth. Alright? The real bread of life. I am feeding you the real truth. Other people who think they know and they have a book, a guide, and all this kind of shit, alright, that cannot save you from the wrath of Elohim. Why are you listening to these people? Why do you choose to continue to listen to your enemies, people who will not make it into the ark? Why listen to these people? Why listen to them? They are all brainwashed. Not only that, they are deceived, and they are liars, mockers, scoffers. Listen, just name it. Why listen to these people like Dutchies, Dutchinese, whatever the fuck you call yourself? Don't listen to these people, brothers and sisters. Do not listen to these people. Are you not seeing? Alright? Are you not seeing that these people are deceiving you? They have PayPal account, they have GoFundMe, and begging you to donate. To donate to what? That person helping you? That person not helping you? That person not giving you facts? Then giving you truth? Then sharing with you the love of our Creator? They're not teaching you Elohim's heart? But yet they're telling you, forcing you to donate? To what? That's my point. Donate to what? What are you donating to? to lies, deception. You know, that's my point. Why listen to these people who claim to be what they call themselves? Some of them call themselves gods. Some of them think that they could create their own world. Alright? But let me tell you all something. Those people who think that they could worship themselves rather than worship the creators, they are fallen angels. And the lake of fire is where they're going. They're not going nowhere else. They're not going to Saturn. They're not going to Nemesis or the Anunnaki. Not going and pull them in. No. The Anunnaki running for their life right now. Alright? If you don't know what's really happening in the atmosphere right now, is a war zone. Alright? It's a war zone manifesting right now in the atmosphere.
I will give you praise, Almighty One. Mighty. I will lift my voice and worship you. Oh yes, I will.
Oh yes, oh yes,
oh yes, I will. I will worship you.
I will lift my voice. I will bless your name.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Elohim.
Elohim.
Remember these drawings? It all came to pass. Look at these drawings. Remember these drawings, what I draw and show you all the vein and the plates all connected to Yellowstone? Well, guess what? It all connected to Yellowstone. Everything that I've taught you all is the truth. Remember, I spoke about Mexico. Where is it? I spoke about when the rapture will happen. The rapture will happen when Yellowstone almost ready to blow. Remember these drawings? Although kind of disorganized, I show you all exactly what will happen on the solar eclipse. I explain everything to you all what happened to the solar eclipse. That Yellowstone is a female Yellowstone. That's the reason why NASA want to go and daffy with she. Because they know she will birth. And I show you all about the fault lines wobbling here. And I show you all the mountain and the land is being pulled in the sea. Although it may seem to you that it's not being pulled in the sea, it is being pulled in the sea. I also show you all the Atlantic Ocean and the magnitudes of earthquake that is happening. You see 6.1, 7.1. Look at here. Look at right here. And this was drawn some weeks ago. I show you all what will happen in Mexico and on how it will affect the world. I show you all that an earthquake 6.1 will hit Mexico. I show you all a 7.1 will hit Mexico. I show you all a 5.1 will hit California. I show you all a 5.1 will hit California. I show you all a 6.3 will hit the Netherlands. I show you all a 10.1 or a 10.1 or 8.1 magnitude will hit Mexico. I show you all a 6.5 will hit will hit Brazil. This is the drawing here. I show you all here. Recently they had a 8.1, not so? Mexico had a 8.1, but nothing never happened. Mexico had a 8.1 earthquake, and what happened was a split. It have a split now. Recently there was a 7.1 that caused devastation. Because they didn't accept my warning, because they didn't accept my warnings, this is what happened to them. A 7.1 earthquake hit them. There was other drawings too. Let me see if I could find it. Before I start drawing about the storm, I promise that I'll show you all about the storm. I know. For all those who think I brainwash, and you know, I must be controlled or something like that, like them. Well, flat earth. The earth is flat. I teach about the dome. I teach where the moon in position, where the sun is position, and I teach where the stars are. I teach all that. What is this? This is just an illustration that I'm looking for the other drawing. Other draw. Maybe it's on this. Yeah, it's on this. I even show you all this. Abba staff causes earthquake. See where heaven is? Look where the 7th wave will happen. I show you all very hard at 7.8 magnitude, 10.1. I show you all a mild earthquake. I show you all a 4.4, 4.5, where it's going to happen and how it's going to happen. Everything that I've shown you all here is the illustration. It is truth, and this is how it's happening right now. This is how the earthquake is happening around the world. This is how it's happening. The earth is flat. The earth is not a globe. Rubbish. We see a part, I see a put here. Rubbish. The earth is not a globe. We don't live in a globe. We live in a flat earth where you could get east, a west, where you could get a south, and where you could get a north pole. You can only get a east, west, north, and south pole. You can only get 4 poles on a flat earth. You cannot get 4 poles on a globe. It is impossible to get 4 poles on a globe. I'm going to show you something. That is the globe. That is the model of the stupid earth. Where you getting a south pole here? Where you getting a south pole there? That's a north pole? That way you getting the poles? Nah, this is rubbish. NASA teaches shit. This is rubbish. You can't get a south pole or north pole on a friggin' globe. On this model, on this flat earth model, the earth is flat. On this flat earth model, you could get a east, a west, a south, north, because there is a point. There is a point here to signify it. There is a point here to signify. There is a point down here, and there is a point down here. There is a point down there. See if that I did draw something else. Let me see if I find it. Right. So much of drawings I did. Right, this is where you need to understand. This is about the crop circles that you remember recently. You were seeing crop circles. You was only hearing about crop circles. You realize you ain't hearing nothing about crop circles anymore. You realize you're not even seeing a crop circle anymore. Because why? The warning's over. Watch. About to happen. Earthquakes everywhere. Since I spoken this, it happened. And look where Mexico is. I didn't draw this. I didn't just writing this, I think it's this one, man. I had to find the other illustration. But this is about the crop circles and who makes the crop circles. I'm drawing kind of outer thing, but I'm not a best drawer. This is an orphonym. You see how the wings is? This is an orphonym. This is called Ezekiel wheel, right? Orphonym. This is an orphonym, which called the Ezekiel wheels. I have a teaching on the Ezekiel wheel on my page, so you could go on my page and you can learn about the Ezekiel wheel on my page. I have a whole post explaining about the orphonym. The orphonym is the Ezekiel wheel. They are the chariots. They are the living chariots of Elohim. And I also show here the pole shift, and all 7 shelves must be shifted. You hear what I say? This will happen when the 7th trumpet is sounded. You see, when the 7th trumpet is sung by this angel here, Gabriel, the pole reversal shift will happen when all the 7 shelves must be shifted. I teach about the 7 shelves already a little earlier on in the live. I'm just going over before I draw what I need to draw for you. It's ORPHYM'S. It's ORPHYM'S. Like Yim, like New YAHUSHUA. It's ORPHYM'S. So we are YAHUSHUA here. We have Imaya, who is the mother. Earth is the center of the universe. So Earth is in the center. This is their thrones there. This is YAHUSHUA throne. This is Imaya throne. This is Yahuwah throne. This is Imaya's throne. This is Lord Yahushua's throne. Yahushua is always on the right hand of the Father. Yahushua is always on the right hand of the Father. Always. Imaya is next to Yahuwah. That is Yahuwah's wife. Yahuwah and Imaya is husband and wife. That is his wife. That is her husband. Right? That is what he specifically speak in the scripture. And he spoke about blaspheming Imaya, blaspheming the Holy Spirit. If you blaspheme the Holy Spirit, there is no forgiveness. It is in the scripture. And if you blaspheme her, his wife, if you blaspheme his wife, Imaya, there is no forgiveness. He will not forgive you. And she will have no remorse for you for blaspheming her, because it is written. So that scripture is correct. So Earth is in the center of the universe. This area here is the universe. But Earth is a small flat Earth with a glass dome over it. A glass dome. I also have videos. Ying Chin. I also have videos that you can look at this. I have videos where live. My God. I have live videos. Yeah, live videos of the dome itself. I have a live video with the dome. Right? So in the dome, a live video with the dome. So the Father, the Mother, the Son, Earth is a family, triune, eternal family. You understand? So there are 3 witnesses. 3. There are 3 witnesses. 3 witnesses. Not 2. Not 2. There are 3 witnesses. And I explain it here. There are 3 witnesses. And the first witness is Eliyahu. And the second is 2 females. So one, Eliyahu represents Yahuwah. The other female witness represents Imaya. And the last female represents Lord Yahushua. Oh, come on now, man, Facebook. Stop blowing out the blasted thing. Right? So Eliyahu, which is Elijah, represents the Father. The second witness represents Imaya. And the third witness represents Yahushua. So there is 3 witnesses, not 2. Right? There is 3 witnesses, not 2 witnesses. And together is Elohim. So Elohim is the triune eternal family. The triune means the trine eternal family. The family that the world reject. Let me find the other one with Mexico. I did another drawing. With Mexico. Before I show you all the storm. The one I did for the storm, I did one. See if I can find it. I think it's supposed to be something in this. I'm just looking for it here. I did one. Right. Look with your own eyes. Spiritual eyes, that is, right? You see where Mexico is? Watch. Mexico fault line connects to the main core of Yellowstone. Alright? Mexico, the earthquake that happened in Mexico was a 7.1. And I think it was a 8.2 before the 7.1. So before the 7.1 earthquake happened, Mexico earthquake affects Yellowstone badly. This is Antarctica here. This is where the Jesuit, where the elite bunker is. The elite bunker is in Antarctica. This is where the elite bunkers is in Antarctica. You realize I put Japan here? Japan had a earthquake too. Japan also had a recent hurricane too. You see where Nigeria is? All these places all these places that I explained to you all had a disaster recently. The Caribbean outstanding. If you realize I didn't put the Caribbean because the Caribbean outstanding. Trinidad is connected to Yellowstone. London, UK, Italy, England, America, they are all connected to Yellowstone because Yellowstone is a major nuclear time bomb. If you see here, you see Africa. You see Africa. Africa is connected to Yellowstone. All places on this flat earth is connected to Yellowstone. India is connected to Yellowstone. You see, all places is connected to Yellowstone. See where the USA is? What they call the fault line is actually a vein. So what they call the fault line is a vein. You know, everybody should be listening to this. You should have at least a lot of people listening to this live right about now. But maybe they're just waiting to, maybe they're just waiting to, you know, maybe they're just waiting for more information. So go back on the YouTube channel and brag about what Yashomina. I'm going to draw today what happens to the ocean. All right. I just doing it in my own way again, and I'll just put this as Brazil, and all the waters is connected together except the separation with the two different waters in the Atlantic Ocean that doesn't meet together, right? But all ocean connected together for a reason, right? All of the water may be different colors, it doesn't mean to say they're not connected. All of them, all of the oceans connected together. That's right, like a body. So, let's see if I can see it. So, this is Brazil. This is the ocean here. Right? This is Brazil. This is the ocean here. And let me say this is the storm. In the storm, there's an eye. There's a what they call an eye wall. This is the storm here. This is what they do. This is what Abadem does. Let me put I'll put a funnel cloud. So they use a funnel, and the funnel touch down, come down like this, come down to the ocean, spreads out like this, and takes up how much gallons of water they want. This is Maria. I call it the storm Maria. I call it Maria. This is Maria here. This is a dangerous category. There's a category. Let me say there's a category 3. There's a category 3 from the outside. They need as much water to jump on the land. This is the land here. That is, you see, this is the land here. See if I can destroy it. You understand? This is the land. So there's the land. Right? There's the sea, there's the land. I want you to understand what I'm drawing here. This is Hurricane Maria. She need as much water. She need as much water to moist here. Here, this eye wall here needs to be moist. So what they do is, from the hurricane itself, a funnel cloud is being sent down. No, a funnel cloud, you know what I want to say. Right? It's sent down into the ocean. It's been sent down in the ocean, and it takes up water. It takes up water, and the water is being sucked up all through here. And when it reaches here, there's a process that takes place. Let me just draw it out. Let's see what we draw it. Right, when it reaches here, water spout, right? Water spout. There's a water spout, right? There's a water spout. It takes the water from the ocean, stores it up. As I tell you all, it goes through a process. So this is the water from the sea, and the water is being sucked up. When it reaches here, there's a process that takes place. What happens here is it liquefies. So the water, when the water from the sea is being sucked up here, it liquefies here, and then it goes in the core of the hurricane, right? The water is being sucked into here, and then it goes all around here, and then it goes all around here. It's a category 3, right? It's a category 3 there right now. In order to get a category 4, they need to send down a next funnel. So the funnel will work together. So once they send down a next funnel, let me say they send down a next funnel, the funnels is connected according to where it is. So the send down the next funnel and the funnel is connected. You have more water here now. You have more water. You have more water here right now. Right? So you have more water here to help the storm, to help the hurricane go on. What happens now when the hurricane come in? Let me say the hurricane go into, let me say it go into Virgin, I'll say Virgin Islands, right? Islands. I hope you understand my writing. So this is Virgin Island land. The hurricane is coming towards the Virgin Islands. This is what happens when the hurricane nearly reach. There's a release. There's a valve. Now there is a valve that is being released here. So wherever they want to pour the water down, the valve is being released. Let me show you how the valve is. There is a valve here in the eye. There's a valve. There's a lock and valve. You ever see a lock and valve? Let me see if I can draw it. All right. It goes like this, and then I think it goes back to front like this way. And then it draws like this, I think. Right. That is the lock. That is the valve. I'll watch it good. I'll put Hurricane Maria. Right. So this is Hurricane Maria. For those who not joining us and don't know what I'm talking about, I am talking about discussing about Hurricane Maria and when she meet Jose, what will happen, right? And let's explaining the simple tips that Abba taught me to teach you all today. So this is Hurricane Maria here, and this will be the right. I call it the funnel, but you call it a different name. I just can't remember right now, right? This is a lock. This a lock valve. This valve is locked in the eye wall of the storm. So there is water in a liquid form here. When it nearly reach the island, when it projected part is, this is the projected part. The valve here is being released, and when moisture or when air gets in the locked valve, the water becomes like normal water. It becomes like normal seawater in there.
All right, so I'm going to explain to you all right now what I'm talking about. All right, as you can see right here, look on the left hand side of your screen. All right, now you see I divide the two screen, right? Look on the next side, and you will see what I'm talking about. All right, look on the next side and you will actually see what I'm talking about. Let me see if I could slow it down some more time. All right, this is called the atmospheric river. This is the atmospheric river. All right, and what I'm teaching you all here is the model, is the system that the creator Elohim, Abba Yahuwah, created to take up water from the ocean and store it in the heavens. All right, it is called what's the process again? All right, it's called atmospheric process, where the water from the funnel clouds, all right, when they bring down funnel clouds and take up water from here, the water is stored into a circuitry form. In what actually saying to you all here, I want you to understand that the water that is taken up into the funnel clouds, those water is being taken into a chamber, and the chamber is right up here. Right, as you can see, I'll stop it there. Right up here, this is called a chamber, just like what I draw. All right, so I just draw it there so that you could see it for yourself. All right, so this is the atmospheric river. All right, that Yahuwah takes water from the ocean, store it up into the sky, store it up at least about let me say about 60 miles from the earth. 60 miles from the earth, well, in the atmosphere. Abba took the water, store it up here, and then the water is being transported, right, by something called an atmospheric vortex. All right, so an atmospheric vortex is what you see turning here. All right, I can't remember the name that I said on the live, because that live was about 2017, but it's an atmospheric vortex. All right, so it's a vortex that continues to turn and rotate the water, and the water is being taken up, and then it's being stored as a liquefied form, and then the water is being transported from point A to point B. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is the rain that falling is not the ordinary water that Abba then does take up from the sea, and then let us do a process with the water. Again, the rain that falling in different places of the earth previously, and the earth cracking up and the earth splitting up, it's not ordinary water. That actually Yahuwah does the process, and there's a process that happens where the water is being processed from the ocean to remove certain minerals from it, so that when it's falling on the earth, it won't crack the earth. All right, in other words, what I'm revealing to you all here is that the water that coming up from the ocean with the funny clouds that you see is pure seawater. And what happens is with the funny cloud is the same vortex I'm telling you about is like a suction. It sucks up the water into the vortex cloud, and then there's a heating process. Remember, you can't see the sun, but the sun is up there shining still. Yes, the sun is up there shining still. So what the sun will do up here, the sun will liquefy the seawater that coming up there, and then the vortex will take it from point A to point B, and it will transfer to whether Afghanistan, Syria, Trinidad, different places on the earth. All right, what do you call it, boy? NASA them give it a name, but I don't know exactly what it actually is. So what I'm teaching you, brothers and sisters, is ancient teaching, the way how our creator Yahuwah created this system to take up the water in the ocean. So how you think rain fall? You think rain does just fall from the sky? No, brothers and sisters. There's a process that takes place where the water from the ocean, there's a process that happens where the water is being taken up from the ocean, go up into the vortex, and then there is a process that happens up there where the sun actually have a big part to do with the water becoming liquefied. That is how the water transfer from point A to point B. So don't study NASA. Don't listen to Dutchies and all these other people who telling you that they think they know what's happening, because they're using science to justify the lies of the enemy. What I'm teaching you is the real truth, and you will never find this in no dictionary. You will never see this on YouTube. You will never find this teaching nowhere. Because I am the only one, the only source that can teach you the real truth. Alright? So there you have it. It's an atmospheric river. Alright? NASA stole that from me as well. Alright, so let me just play the video. Alright, if it look good, you see how it's spinning? It is spinning there. And Abba use lightning. Lightning is what Abba use to close the vortex. So it's like a pipe. You turn it on and you turn it off. Just like I explained in the drawing. There's a lock of valve. Let me just show you again. Let me show you how it come in. Alright, let me just show you there. Alright. 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 As you can see there, there's nothing there. Look. You're not seeing nothing there. You can see the sun shining up there. Alright? But look at this. What's going to happen here right now. Watch how the vortex opens. Alright? Watch how it opens and watch how it closes with lightning. Watch for yourself and then you will see that I'm telling you the truth. So this is the atmospheric vortex. Watch how it opens. See how it opens? It opens. It opening there and then you'll see a lightning. The lightning is to close the vortex. Alright? So when the vortex is closed, then no water will come down again anymore. Or Abba will actually open it to a specific way where not all water or not plenty water will flow there. Again, this is ancient teaching. I never get it from nobody on YouTube. I never get it from nobody on Facebook. And nobody on the earth never teach me this. Alright? Elohim, the Almighty God, the true trine, eternal family, they taught me their true system of things. So that I will not be deceived by NASA, by any sky watcher, or by any person who claiming to know about the weather. Alright, I can tell you everything that you want to know about the weather. Alright, so as you can see there, what's happening? Look, you see? Look how it's spinning. See how it's spinning? Watch how it's spinning. Alright, and you see? Look for yourself. And you see lightning? Right. Lightning means that the vortex is closed. It means that the portal, I use the word portal. It means that it is shut off. Alright? The amount of water that you see coming down there, look at how much water you see coming down there. Watch. Look how much water. Alright, and you see a lightning flash. Boom. See the lightning? Alright. The lightning means that the vortex has closed. So let me go back to the teaching here.
Right? And what they do is they release the valve. And when they release the valve, according to the eye of the hurricane and the wind speed of the hurricane, the water is being dispersed, like shoot, like let me show you all it. The water is being shoot out like this. All over the country. The water is being released like this. That's how the water is being released. From Maria, or from Irma, or from Harvey, is the same process that takes place. So what happening in Brazil Ocean now? That's right. When the water in Brazil gone, this side of the water gone. There is no ocean here because all the water is being sucked up here and kept in the core of the hurricane. So once the water is being kept in the core of the hurricane, whenever they choose to release it again, they will they will actually release the valve. When I say they, I mean Elohim, the Almighty God, because they are the ones that created the storm. the hurricane. They are the one that control the hurricane. HARP have nothing to do with this. HARP cannot do this. Okay? Get this in your thick skull. HARP cannot do this. This is Almighty God. Right? This is Almighty God. This is His doing. This is Elohim's work. They are the Almighty God, and they are the ones that are doing this. So the water that's missing from Brazil, it is in Maria. And what Maria is going to do, Maria is going to feed Jose. Maria is going to feed Jose some of her water, and together a water spout is going to come down in New York and suck up all the water that they could suck up. All the water that they could suck up. And while that's happening, there will be an earthquake. I don't have room to draw all that now because I cannot draw it, cannot strip it, but anyhow.
So please remember to do your part, to please share this live. Everywhere that you can share this live, let us share this live everywhere that we can. Alright? Let us share the ancient knowledge that you're receiving from Elohim's love right now. Share this live everywhere, on every group, even on YouTube, news station, everywhere. It's time for the lies of NASA to be open and for them to be exposed.
I just want to show you all. I just telling you all what happens. This is what happened. You ever see our water hose that spray out? You ever see our water hose that spray out? But that's the same thing that's happened. Same thing that's happened with a hurricane. The water spouts that be. So when the water spouts come down, the water spouts collect the water, the amount of water to transport the storm. They need the water spout. So when the water spout is being sent down here, which I call a funnel, it sucks up how much water it needs to empower the hurricane. So when the winds that rotate in here, this is the winds that rotate in. Alright, I want to tell you, Imaya is the almighty wind. This is the wind that is rotating with the hurricane. And this is the lock valve. There is a valve that locks in. Remember I told you all, when the water is being taken up in a water spout, it is being processed before it goes into the core.
Okay, so what is the process of the earthquake hitting while the storm coming forth? These are other revelations that you need to know. So what happens is, when the storm is approaching, according to the water that they have in the funnel cloud that they're transporting from point A to point B, what you're seeing on the left side of the screen, the illustration that I'm actually showing you, which is a real video taken by a guy in Australia. Alright, so look at the left side. I have that video playing over and over so that you will have an idea exactly of what is really going on. Alright, the next thing I want to teach you all is in connection with the earthquake happening while the bad weather is coming in. What happens is, if Abraham is cracking the earth or splitting the earth, there is an earthquake to incorporate. When the water hits it, the earthquake will actually help the earth to crack, because the water that falling from the sky, or which comes from the vortex, the open vortex, that water is not treated water. Remember I told you all, there's a process where the water is being treated inside of the vortex. So the vortex is like the eye of a hurricane. Alright, so the vortex is where the water is being treated, seawater, and then it is being go through a specific process, and then it's being poured out. Alright, but the seawater that they are actually taking up with different funnel clouds, you might see 2-3 funnel clouds on the ocean. That's what they are doing, taking up seawater, not processing it. So the water that they are taking up from the sea in a funnel cloud, it is not being treated, it is not being processed within the vortex anymore. So what they're doing is pour in the undiluted seawater on the land. So that is why there's a crack afterwards. That is why certain parts cracking off on the earth, because it's pure seawater they throw in on the earth. Pure seawater Abba Yahuwah using with all the minerals in it. The seawater will split wherever it is. So if Abba pour, let me see about 4 hours rain, but the rain that's falling, sometimes you go out and you might taste the rain, and the rain might taste a little salty. Has that ever happened to you, listeners? Has that happened to you, brothers and sisters? Have you ever went out in the rain and you actually taste the rain water that come from the sky, or may fall in your hand? It might taste a little salty. Well, that is the reason. It's the reason why they are using pure seawater now and pouring it on the earth in the form of rain. Alright? And then they use an earthquake to split it. Alright? So that is the purpose of the earthquake, is to help split the part that they're going to work on breaking off. Alright, so you understand now, right?
It is possessed. Why I think the reason why birds just go, why I think birds just go in the eye of the hurricane and stay. This is a question I want to ask you all. Why you think that birds, why you think birds just go in the eye of the hurricane when there's a hurricane? I want you all to answer me this. Why it is that birds just go in the eye of the hurricane? This is here, this is lock, and this is lock valve. This is actually the safest part in the hurricane. Although it is the eye, it is a deadly part. It could be deadly according to where it hits, right? According to where it hit. But once this valve is unlocked, the amount of water being stored up or taken from here, the ocean, it will be dispersed all over the land, and it will be dispersed not in 5 liter, not in 5 gallon. It will be dispersed in thousands of gallons. You didn't see what happened to Harvey? The amount of water they take from the Atlantic Ocean was more than this. In order to flood out Texas, Abraham had was to take about, they may take about 1 million gallons of water from the Atlantic Ocean, store it up in the core of Harvey. I call it Maria, but it's Harvey here. Store it up in Harvey. Harvey was a category 3 according to the wind speed. When the wind started to take up, when the Maya started to move within the hurricane, and she locked the water inside of this valve, she carried the hurricane direct to Texas, and then she released the valve, and then she flooded out everywhere. She used the wind to disperse the water, she used the wind to disperse the water, and the water is falling in thousands of gallons, and it's flooding quickly. It ain't flooding 1 hour ago take to flood. It's flooding by the minutes. So every 3 minutes water rises, because the amount of water is in this in this system. The amount of water is in this system right now. When they're ready to release it, she released the valve. This is a valve. Most YouTubers don't know anything by teaching here. And scientists can't even explain this to you all. Nobody on the earth could explain this but me. Scientists can't even explain it for you all, because they don't know one shit. They don't know nothing. Right? This is Hurricane Maria, Hurricane Harvey. I'm just teaching you all about what happens. This is the Virgin Islands, and this is what happened. Water from the Hurricane Maria flooded out, and the wind speed, the speed of the hurricane rotating, remember it rotating, And once it rotated, it taken up a certain amount of air or moisture within it. When it reaches the location that it wants to dump water, or where the eye is going to pass, that is when the valve is being released. So if the eye is passing over the Virgin Islands, the valve will be unlocked, and all this water here stored up, all the water stored up here will be dispersed in thousands of gallons. And the wind that you're having here, the wind, it will pull the wind from the east, it will pull the wind from the west, it will pull the wind from the north, it will pull the wind from the south. And this is what you will have. You will have like a turbine. You ever hear about a turbine before? You ever heard about a turbine? This is a turbine. This is how the storm really looks. This is a turbine. This turbine is what generates the water and the wind in the hurricane itself. Hurricane Maria, Hurricane Harvey. Let's take a look at what you're seeing here right now. Nobody on the earth could explain this the way. Scientists baffled. They can't even answer you. But this is what's happening. That way the water gone. When Maria meets Jose, and they merge together, all the water they take from Brazil, the water they take from Bahamas, the water they take from Florida, they're going to take the water again and they're going to use it for both hurricanes. Both hurricanes, the water is going to, when two of them merge together, we're talking about two turbines, we're talking about two eyes, and we're talking about two systems joined together. I'll show you all here. The two systems joined together and taking up when this funnel comes down, water spout. When this water spout comes down here, takes up the water, it go through a process here, and from that process it is dispersed through here, and it becomes a liquid form. Right? It becomes a liquid form. Well, it becomes actually like isolated. It becomes like isolated, but it's just, you'll just be getting cold winds out of here. In this core, you'll just be getting cool winds. It could be very, very cool. Right? It could be very, very cool. When it reaches the destination that it's going, which will be the Virgin Islands, and the eye comes over Virgin Islands, the water dispersed from here and comes on the land and start flooding out the land. Everywhere that it could go according to the magnitude of the earthquake, according to the magnitude of the hurricane. According to the magnitude of the hurricane, is a category 3, it might go to a category 5. Now, when it goes to a category 5, dangerous. But the only way you will get a category 7 hurricane is if two hurricanes merge together. If two hurricanes merge together, you will get a category 7. And that is dangerous. That could cause a tsunami. That could also cause a tsunami because the water could rise quickly. So in order, Abalam could either use a hurricane to do the tsunami, or they could use an earthquake to do the tsunami. And what they could do is use the ocean as a bed, like this. Is how they penetrate, and they create an earthquake right here, and then they could use the plate, rise the plates to a certain order, and when the plate is being raised to a certain order, then flush the water into onto the land. They could do that, or they could use a hurricane. They could use a hurricane to cause a tsunami. A hurricane could cause a tsunami. but it's according to the magnitude of the wind and of the amount of water that the water spout take in. This is like, if you want to destroy the land, you use a hurricane. If you just want to destroy a small country, use a hurricane. You know what I mean? Use a hurricane. Look, I'm not teaching this. I am not teaching this to people to go back and say they learn this. I'm teaching this so at least Yahuwah could get credit, Imaya could get credit, Yahushua could get credit, and I could get credit. I am teaching this so that you can know exactly that NASA don't know one shit. That the weatherman ain't know one shit. So the water that recedes in Brazil goes towards the storm, goes towards the hurricane. So the water that missing in Brazil, that gone in Brazil, funnel clouds came down without you knowing and took the water, transported the water. The water was transported by a funnel cloud, by a water spout. The water from Brazil was transported by a water spout. I say in funnel cloud, by a funnel cloud, or by a water spout, or by a funnel spout. The water was transported by a funnel cloud, and it was transported by the wind. Yes, it was transported by the wind. When it comes closer to the hurricane, there is something called a bridge. There is a bridge, a valve, a little something that happens in there, supernatural. Something happens supernatural there, where Yahuwah, they breaks down the water here and turn it into a liquid kind of gas form. When it's being turned into a liquid kind of gas form, it's being isolated within the eye of the storm, and it is within the vault. When they release the valve, when they release the valve, when they release the valve, which I call the vault, when they release the vault, this is what happens. Water dispersed like a hose. You know, like when you have a hose with with tiny holes. Well, this is what happened. Right? This is what I call it again. This is a turbine. This is what generates the eye. This generates the eye. This generates the system to rotate the earthquake. This is called a turbine. So this is a turbine here that generates the wind speed to keep the hurricane alive. Forget, don't study them on this hot water shit. They say the hurricane need to go in hot water and all sort of rubbish. Don't study them on that shit, please. Right? Whenever Yahuwah choose, Yahuwah could even do a hurricane in a winter season. A hurricane could happen in a winter season too. They could just use snow in the same eye and disperse it with winds. They could use a hurricane and create a catastrophic snowstorm. They could use this. Where thing does cause a snowstorm is the same pattern. The same pattern that I'm showing you all here is the same thing, brothers and sisters. What is geostorm? Okay, I need you all to ask. I mean, I talk too much. I talk really plenty. Let's see what the sun is. What the sun looking like, right? So, I explained to you all about this. The water receding in Brazil. This is the reason why. Today, I'll put a date on this so I remember. Today is the 23rd of Sep. I'll put 2017, right? So this is the 23rd of September 2017. This is the illustration that nobody on the earth understands. You know, if I receive the credit, nobody on the earth can understand this. Yes, Sister Brandano, right? Alright, take a snapshot of this. You can take a snapshot of this teaching. Drawing's kind of out, but see what, eh? Okay, so this is the drawing here of everything that I've explained to you all. Do you have any questions?
Okay, so what's your question? You have any questions? Tell me your questions that you may have, and I will answer your question for you.
Any questions? Hi Crystal, you have any question? Juanita, any questions? Any questions? Anyone have any questions?
Alright, so the next teaching will be about Yellowstone. It will be a full teaching about Yellowstone. And here's the best about this. You don't have to pay to see it live. You don't have to pay. All you have to do is share this ancient knowledge, this love from Elohim on all groups that you could share it to.
Yes, they're going to experience. That's right, they have no limit. Once it being stored up.
So this was since September the 23rd, 2017. Everything that I've drawn has come to pass, has happened. A matter of fact, we're in 2018 now, and a lot has happened that I have spoken.
Yeah, it could go as long as possible. Once, that's the reason why Jose still exists. If you realize Jose is on the west coast of America right now.
So if you was with me in 2017, and if you remembered that I said that Hurricane Maria and Jose will merge, well, guess what? It did happen, but they keep it a secret because they didn't want people to know that I teach people that. All right, a storm or a hurricane never merge ever in history. But when I spoke it, it happened 3 days after Hurricane Maria and Jose merged together and caused a rampage in Puerto Rico. But they will never tell you that I am the one who truly teaching people, and they are the ones stealing the ancient knowledge that I'm teaching you, and they are stopping people from listening to my lives.
Jose is on the west coast waiting for Maria. Everybody actually think that Jose waiting to pull Maria out to the sea, but that is a lie. Jose is not waiting to pull Maria out from the sea, because America is going to be under a more greater judgment when these two storms merge. When these two storms merge, it's going to head straight into New York, and who knows what could happen, right? They will not be separating after that. We have Lee. We have a storm called Lee. We have a hurricane called Lee. I think it's a category 1. We have a hurricane called Lee, and he just there. He ain't moving. But he moving according to the speed of Maria. So according to Maria's speed, we have Lee moving with Maria. Then we have another one called, I can't remember the new name now, but there's a new hurricane, and it's a category 1 that the meteorologist office, the media, they're not talking about the new hurricane that it have. It have a new hurricane, and it's a category 1 already, and it is not far from Brazil. All year there's a hurricane not far from Brazil. That's right, Jose have a lot of water stored up in him. You see, what keeps the hurricane alive is the water. Water is life, right? Water is life. The water is, we see water that they're processing here is life. The water empowers the hurricane. The water. So when this water is liquid form, it empowers the eye. This is the eye wall here. This is where the strength of the hurricane really is. The strength of the hurricane is within the eye wall. But birds just go in the eye to hide from the heavy wind, because you remember the dispersion is happening under the hurricane. So under the hurricane that's spinning, there are big holes like what I was showing here. So I can destroy it. Oh, big holes. That big holes. Big holes. This is called a turbine, and it rotates in a clockwise position. This is how the hurricane goes. So this part going so, and this part going so. So it's going in a clockwise position, while the turbine here, the turbine going in this direction, the turbine going in this direction, and the eye wall going in this direction. If you realize how I draw it, that's how it goes. They doesn't teach all of the truth, you know. This is the way how the hurricane rotates. This is the outside. This is the turbine. This is the eye wall of the hurricane. And what happens here is a rotation, a clockwise rotation. So while this side going so, this side going so. So while this side going so, this side going so. So it always a clockwise position with hurricane. The bird can stay in the hurricane as long as possible, because in the eye of the hurricane and in the eye wall of the hurricane from above, they can seek refuge in there, because that is the eye wall. We're talking about under the hurricane. Under the hurricane, under this thing here, let me just show you an example. This bottle, there's the hurricane, right? The hurricane spinning like this. This is the turbine. This is the turbine of the hurricane spinning. And within the turbine of the hurricane, this is the eye wall. So when the turbine spinning this way, the eye wall spinning so. So you know what happening there, right? So it generating power. It generating they using the wind, the water to empower the earthquake. According to they're using the resource. They're using the resource from the earth, which is water. They could also use a tornado. How tornadoes created is the same way. How tornadoes just be the same way. You see, the difference between a tornado and a storm. A tornado have no eye. We know that, right? So the difference between a tornado and a storm, a tornado have no eye whatsoever, and the tornado have the tornado don't have the inside part here to call it a storm. the tornado have this. The tornado have what I call the turbine. The tornado have the turbine outside here that generates the speed it might come along with. So it gather all the winds up here in a tornado. It gather all the winds up here, and then the same valve that you see here that using for the water spout, this valve comes down with the wind wherever they have in here, wherever they stop in the turbine. It's the same thing like the storm is just different. So wherever they store up here, whether it's sand or wind, wherever they store up here, it comes down from the heaven.
And yes, they are using electricity.
Comes down to the land,
which is generated from the lightning. That's like what you're seeing there. On the left hand side, as you can see, the lightning, when the lightning struck, that means the vortex closed, which is called the turbine. All right, so there's a turbine and there's also the vortex. So the vortex is within the turbine. So the vortex spinning anti-clockwise, and the turbine is what generates the electricity in the storm, and the wind helps it to push it anywhere that it wants it.
Like in a rotate spinning. It's the same turbine that has been spinning, and when the turbine is spinning here, remember there is no eye, so there's no water being stored in here. This is not a hurricane, this is a tornado. So when the tornado comes down, it only forming with this part, because this part is the rotating part. You don't need an eye because it's not a hurricane. This part is the rotating part, and the winds in here will pick up any other thing, anything that they choose. And then when the valve is unlocked, when this valve here, remember I'll show you all, there's a valve. When this valve is unlocked, the pressure that is stored up in here is released. And when the pressure is released, it comes down spinning, and it takes anything in its path. That is how a tornado happens. Right? So if we decide to remove, remember, without a turbine, this hurricane cannot survive. Don't study them on this shit. I mean, they'll teach you science, which is bullshit. Right? I don't teach you astrology and all them rubbish. I teaching you, this is the model that the creator, this is the model that the creator created it to be. This is how it is in real life. My drawing kind of messed up, but thank you all for watching my life. Please remember to share it because it is very important. And please remember to share it with my name, right? So that people, that they can come back to this live and maybe they can learn something from it, you know. So I'm taking your questions now. What is the next question? You have a question about this? Anybody have any questions? If you have any questions, please state your question. That's right. Tornado is a dry storm and hurricane is a wet storm. Wow. Angela, that is awesome. That is awesome. So now you understand. And the tornado sometimes brings water with it. Sometimes bring water, but there is no eye. There is no eye in a tornado. So what happens here, I told you all, the moisture from the air, whatever moisture is being kept in the turbine. So the turbine here is rotating, but there is no eye because this is not a hurricane. This is a tornado. And this is the dry air here. This is dry air, right? Dry air, which stuffs up in here, and when it is released, it releases in a force, and it releases in a spinning force because the turbine still spinning it, you know. So the turbine spinning still, and the air, it's just like a compressor. right? This just like a compressor. If you don't know what's a compressor, you can research what is a compressor. This is like 1000 psi. This air is 1000 psi right now. Our droid is 1000 psi, and you can go higher than that according to the wind speed. So this is 1000 psi, right? If you want to call it 100 psi, then it needs to be drawn smaller. This is 1000 psi right here. Now this psi, the wind, the moisture from the air is being gathered up in here, sucked up in here, and then when it builds to a certain maximum, or when it builds to a certain average, then it releases here. When it releases here, this part's still spinning. So what that means is, since this part's still spinning, the wind that is inside of it, the air that is inside of it, becomes whatever it needs to be. If it needs to be dust, well, then it will pick up dust from the earth and it will come inside of here. And what happens? It will empower it, just like water. It will empower it. So what they're doing is they're using the resources that they created. Sun is also a resource. Water is a resource. Fire is a resource. Right? If you know all the elements that created this earth, if you know the elements that created this earth, then you will understand how storms is formed. Then you will understand how hurricanes is formed. Then you will understand how tornadoes is formed. Then you will have an understanding how to do certain things. I'm not saying anything more, because I think that NASA going and take this. I need to shut my mouth. You know why? Because the last illustration that I did concerning Yellowstone, NASA took that illustration, and in that illustration I showed you all how to get to the core of Yellowstone, and I even show you all how it's possible to deactivate Yellowstone. But I didn't tell you all anything, but they understand it. The enemy that be watching my lives, we have 17 people on live. This is so important. This is real important. You know, sometimes it's be kind of discouraging that you only have 18 people on live. What I'm teaching you all, money can't buy it. What I'm teaching you all, nobody ain't coming to teach you all this. Elijah ain't coming to teach you all this. And I promise you all before I leave to go home, that I will show you all how a storm is formed. Boom, and there's it. There's it right here. Right illustration. Right? So this is the illustration here that you need to understand. Right? Start taking questions now. Any questions? Any questions? Yes, the enemy is stealing my info. That's the reason why they want to try to deactivate Yellowstone, because they learned that from me. Yes, today is Yahushua's birthday, and Yahushua is 10,000 years old. I think on a live last year, I think I did announce that Yahushua's birthday is on September the 23rd. September the 23rd is Yahushua's universal birthday. Yahushua is 10,000 years old now. Right? So Yahushua is 10,000 years old. Right? Before this birthday, Yahushua was 9,000 years old. Yahushua is 10,000 years old. Yahushua do not celebrate birthday. In heaven, nobody celebrates birthday. You say, why did just the Nile turn blood red, but no Addison waters last week? Nathaniel, I don't understand what you're asking me. Well, the government wanted Nicola dead because he knew too much. So Nicola was assassinated too. They was assassinated just like the doctors and them were killing out. Those doctors was assassinated. Right? All the doctors that they killing out and they killing these doctors, and you know they kill Sibo. He was he used to help help cure cancer and all this kind of thing. Well, the big pharma didn't like that and they kill him. Right? They kill all these doctors that discover that cancer, what causes cancer, and how to stop cancer, and how to heal cancer, what you could do to get better. All these doctors were assassinated. If you realize recently, one of the doctors was assassinated because he speak up against cancer. Anytime you speak up against the enemy, they want to kill you. They want to take you out. But if you are not secure in Elohim, they will kill you. If you are secure in Elohim, they can't touch you. Right? They can't touch. That's the difference. The difference is you being secure in Elohim and you not being so secure in Elohim. Because if you are not being secure in Elohim, you're in trouble. You're in real trouble. The enemy will torment you. If you are secure in Elohim, the angels of the Lord will encamp around those who fear Elohim. Those who fear Elohim in love. Those who respect the commandments. Those who live according to their commandments. Those who live righteous. They are the children of the Most High. Yahushua bride is in the spirit. James, don't talk that so hard now, bro. Hey James, you should send my friend request, bro. But James, don't talk that so hard. Don't let them know why join. Nicola tried to explain this to them. They didn't want him to discover that, and they don't want the people to know the truth about this. This is the truth. And you can also use this also to generate electricity. You see, because this is a turbine. This is a turbine. This can generate electricity. Yes. This can generate electricity. Because this turbine is spinning. And this valve, and this open and closed valve is always interlocking with each other. Right? Touching one another. Touching one another. The components touching one another. That causing a surge storm. We call a surge storm. Right? They call this a surge storm. Anytime electricity gets inside of here, it will become a surge.
אנחנו מזמינים אותך come and fill us now. For you are welcome in this place. Show your mercy and your grace. Come and fill us, Holy Spirit, come.
So we're coming to the end of the 2 hours now. So the live is about to end. In the next 15 minutes, the live will end. So I'd like to say thank you for everyone who watched this live today. And I really pray that you continue to open your eyes in Elohim's will. Alright, so thank you for everyone who watched today's live. And we're coming to the end of today's live as well. So remember to send your friend requests if you want to learn more. And remember, 2 weeks remaining. 2 weeks. Alright? Just remember, this is subject to change. If Elohim want to make it 5 months, they could do it. But it's not 5 months, to be very honest with you. Alright? It's about 2 weeks now. 2 weeks remaining. Alright? So, get in the ark now. Don't wait until the 2 weeks over. Alright? So get in the ark right now. I love you. Elohim love you as well. That's why they are using me to teach you the ancient truth of Daniel. The truth that Daniel was told to seal up until the end. This is the truth. The ancient truth of Elohim. It is the sealed up truth that has been released from Archangel Daniel as well. So the next time that I'll be doing a live, Daniel, he did a live, so I'll be doing over that live where he will teach you some more in-depth ancient things. Alright, so thank you again for watching today's live.
Come and fill us now. For you are welcome in this place. Show your mercy and your grace. Come and fill us, Holy Spirit, come.
So shalom to everyone, and have a blessed and peaceful day. The fifth angel of the apocalypse signing out. Praise Yah.